have become the focus of conversation. Despite the best efforts of Facebook and Twitter to step on the conversation, it's going virtually everywhere right now. The Daily Mail, New York Post, and others weighing in with more bombshell stories today, Tudor. It's a lot to cover. We'll get to it later today.
Absolutely, and I bet the president is really wishing there were a debate tonight, but instead of a debate, there will be competing town halls. The president will be on NBC. The former vice president will be on ABC. So we will be tuning into those as well. But right now, we're going to head back into that confirmation hearing to see what's happening with the nomination process. Oh, they are in recess. I'm just hearing that they are in recess. So, Steve, let's talk a little bit about what is going on with Hunter Biden. These are extreme allegations, but really these are emails that have come in off of this laptop. This laptop was dropped off in 2019 at a repair shop in Delaware. Now, the owner of the repair shop says it was Hunter Biden that dropped off the laptop. It was never picked back up. Apparently, he was called several times, asked to pick it back up. When the owner of the repair shop went into the computer, he found this. What we're hearing now is in the ballpark of 40,000 emails, and a lot of these emails are very incriminating, Steve.
Well, they certainly are, and there's a lot here. 40,000 emails, thousands of text messages, photographs, compromising videos, lewd videos, I think would be a safe way to put it, sexually compromised positions for Hunter Biden, plus pictures of such things as Hunter sleeping with a crack pipe in his mouth. But the really interesting emails come down to emails confirming a meeting between the number 3 man at Burisma, that energy company in Ukraine that has been so plagued with corruption and so forth. A letter, an email that is, thanking Hunter Biden for arranging a meeting with Joe Biden, then vice president, in 2015, and putting those two together. But it gets so much worse today. The Daily Mail today releasing this. A second batch of smoking gun emails reveal Hunter Biden's dealings with the vanished Chinese energy company chairman and $30 million in consulting fees. That's right, $30 million in consulting fees, they say, for introductions alone. Again, this is in the emails. Introductions alone got Hunter Biden paid $30 million, according to the Daily Mail. Now, here's the second part of the story that's going on. You're probably quite aware of this. Jack Dorsey and Twitter shut down the New York Post yesterday. A major newspaper in the United States was shut down because they said, Twitter did, that they had violated Twitter policies. Facebook also throttling down the story, trying to prevent it from getting out. What's interesting to me at this point in the conversation, Tudor, is through all of this, Joe Biden and his campaign have not issued a blanket denial saying this is not true, this did not happen, this is not Hunter's computer. They've just said,
no.
Well, you're invoking privacy issues here, Tudor. Go ahead.
Yeah, and they actually shut down, Twitter came out, they shut down the Trump campaign account. They also shut down the press secretary's account. And then you have Jack Dorsey, who came out and said, well, this was not exactly what we did. He put out a tweet. I think we have that here. Yes, we do. Let's put that up. It says, our communications around our actions on the New York Post article was not great. That's literally, I mean, if you're looking at this, was not great. And blocking URL sharing via tweet or DM with zero context as to why we're blocking, unacceptable. And yet, a few hours ago, and I can't confirm that this is still the case, but a few hours ago, Kayleigh McEnany was still saying that her account was locked. She has not, it's not just been locked, Steve, permanently banned from Twitter for having this article that came out. And like you said, this came from the New York Post. This is the New York Post is the 4th largest circulation in the country. And they are banning information coming from this publication, Steve.
And keep in mind, these are newspapers that ran breathlessly with every little piece that they could find on Russian collusion with the president. Substantiated, unsubstantiated. The Associated Press, Twitter, Facebook, all of these clowns went out there and ran with everything unsubstantiated. Now, a development here a little while ago. Senators Ted Cruz and Josh Hawley, along with Chairman Lindsey Graham, saying that they are subpoenaing, putting a subpoena out for Jack Dorsey, probably for Mark Zuckerberg, demanding that they come in and talk about what they're calling censorship, flat-out censorship of this story, because that's what it is. And when you've got two major tech companies, big tech, controlling the conversation clearly in the tank for one campaign over the other. The fact of the matter is, America deserves transparency. America deserves to know the truth about these things. I mean, the laptop dropped off, like you said, 40,000 emails on it, revealed to include a picture of Hunter with a crack pipe in his mouth while he was asleep, an 11-minute sex and drug video, which is still to be seen. Twitter barred the Trump campaign, as you mentioned. Donald Trump released, seized on the release, orchestrating his personal attorney, Rudy Giuliani, to call his rival a corrupt politician. Senate Republicans are investigating. Democrats are accused Giuliani of peddling misinformation. The problem with it being misinformation is we have the computer. And that computer, by the way, was seized by the FBI some time ago. The FBI has this computer, but the gentleman that owned that computer repair shop in Delaware, he downloaded everything. Now let's use the proper term for what he is. He is a whistleblower. He opened the computer, and even though he's legally blind, so he cannot testify to whether or not it was Hunter Biden that dropped it off, he uses a monocle to review the computer work that he does. He found all of these damning and incriminating emails, photographs, information, text messages, all of it. And he tried to contact Congress, didn't get a return call. Tried to contact the FBI, didn't get a return call. Finally got a hold of somebody in Rudy Giuliani's circle, was able to get the information to him. And then the FBI came along at some time during that time frame. I don't have the exact timeline laid out yet. But the FBI seized the computer, but all of the material had been downloaded. It was then shared with Rudy Giuliani's friend, an attorney that then gave it to the New York Post. Other outlets also have it. We know that the Daily Mail has it. Other outlets have it. But what bothers me the most about all of this, Tudor, the censorship. The censorship of what should be an incredibly important story with 18 days to go before an American presidential election. And big tech is trying to put its thumb on the scale. This is direct election interference. There's nothing else to call it. Ted Cruz is outraged. Josh Hawley is outraged. Lindsey Graham outraged. Yeah.
Rudy Giuliani spoke about this earlier. I believe we have that. I'd like to show you that now.
I have to tell you, and this is very sensitive, the stuff that we're in possession of contains 1,000, maybe more, photographs that are highly, anywhere from inappropriate to illegal, and have to be possessed by the Chinese government. If the Chinese government doesn't have these photographs, they're not really a rival. I mean, I did intelligence work. I helped to start the FISA court. I know this business, and I know the Cold War people better than I do the people now. All my FISA warrants were against China and Russia. They have got everything the American people are going to look at in the next 5 days. China's been looking at for a long time.
Steve, I want to go back to Nancy Pelosi coming out and saying that because the president has loans that need to be refinanced this year, that he is a threat to this country because other countries might have something on him. Meanwhile, China has illegal pictures of Hunter Biden.
It's remarkable. Plus, the amount of money that has changed hands here. $3.5 million from the wife of the mayor of Moscow, Russia. $30 million involved with this Chinese energy company. The list goes on. Again, 40,000 emails. I would expect new revelations every single day from now until Election Day from the New York Post, the Daily Mail, and a host of others. You're watching America's Voice Live. We'll be right back.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and as you know, my passion is to help each and every one of you get the best sleep of your life. That's why I created my new Giza Dreams bed sheets. I guarantee you they'll be the most comfortable sheets you'll ever own.
With the Giza Dream Sheets, I'm getting the best sleep of my life.
They are so soft and smooth. I never slept so good.
I fall asleep faster because I'm actually comfortable.
I started by using the world's best cotton called Giza. It's only grown in a region between the Sahara Desert, the Mediterranean Sea, and the Nile River. It's ultra soft and breathable, but extremely durable, which is why I can give you my full 10-year warranty. But I didn't stop there. My Giza sheets also include full 21-inch wide pillowcases that will fit over any pillow and deep pocket sheets that will fit over any mattress. I guarantee you the first night you sleep on my sheets, you'll never want to sleep on anything else.
Go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen right now. MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets are available in a variety of colors and will be the softest, most comfortable sheets you will ever own. Use the promo code and get 2 for 1 low price, plus free shipping. Giza Dreams are made with the finest, most sought-after cotton in the world. Giza cotton was once reserved for only the finest dress shirts, but is now available in Mike's Giza Dream Sheets. They feature a beautiful silky sateen weave that helps keep you cool and comfortable all night long.
With the Giza Dream Sheets, I'm getting the best rest of my life.
I love my Giza Dream Sheets.
Go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen right now to get your very own MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets. Use the promo code and Mike will give you a very special 2 for 1 low price and free shipping. That's right, get 2 for 1 low price and free shipping. Call or go online now.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.com.
So Frank, you're the big hurt. Why do you need Nugenics?
After 40, a guy loses free testosterone. Even me. I couldn't stay in shape like I used to.
Frank! So does Nugenics really work?
Oh yeah, my workouts are incredible now. I'm feeling stronger, more energetic, with a lot more drive.
Frank. So say I knew someone who should try Nugenics. How does he do that?
It's easy. Just send a text to get a complimentary bottle.
Frank's right. Now you can claim a complimentary bottle of award-winning Nugenics by texting BUFF to 42424. Its unique formula is powered by Testofen, a patented key ingredient clinically researched to help a man feel stronger, leaner, more energetic, and more passionate. Text BUFF to 42424 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenics Total T. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of new Nugenics Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. That's BUFF to 42424.
Well, look at the bright side, Tudor. There's never a dull moment in October here at America's Voice Live. So much to cover. We've got the hearings at recess for Amy Coney Barrett for just a moment. I do want to direct your attention to last night where the president was holding a rally. He's got a rally scheduled just about every day, except tonight. Of course, he has a town hall on NBC at the same time that Joe Biden will be on ABC. They both start at 8 o'clock Eastern time, for those of you keeping score at home. But the president, I am told, reworked his entire speech last night before he landed for that rally so he could include comments about Joe Biden and the revelations and, of course, big tech Twitter and Facebook trying to step on the information so that you, the average American, aren't allowed to see the allegations that are being leveled against Hunter Biden and, by extension, his father, and in some places directly implicating Joe Biden in a pay-to-play influence peddling scheme. Here's the president.
I was pressing Joe Biden to tell the truth because the corrupt mainstream media right back there, all those cameras right back there, they're corrupt and they refuse to write the story. There wasn't one time in almost 4 years during my presidency, during the greatest political scandal in U.S. history, a witch hunt, a horrible, horrible, disgusting witch hunt that should never, ever happen to another presidency again, and people should pay for the crimes they committed. Which turned out to be a total illegal hoax that false and libelous stories every day, false and libelous stories. And they knew they were false, too. They knew they were false. They were never taken down by Twitter or Facebook or the mainstream media, never once. Yet with Biden today, they take negative posts down almost before they even go up. They're trying to protect him. They're trying to protect Biden. They take him down.
Now, with all we are learning, it makes one wonder if the Russia hoax will be the biggest criminal activity in American political history, or if we have a new scandal brewing where the media and social media like Facebook and Twitter put all their effort forward, I should say, to try to protect the candidate as he tries to avoid the questions altogether. Why has Joe Biden not come out and flatly said, this is not true, this has not happened? Isn't that what a campaign would do if they were truly innocent? You would say, this is false. That has not happened. A blanket statement of saying, We are innocent has not occurred, Tudor.
No, you would think some statement would come out, but you probably also won't be hearing one from Senator Harris anytime soon. One of her staffers and also a flight crew member tested positive for coronavirus, and now she is off the campaign trail, Steve. It looks like she'll be off the campaign trail for the next 10 days at least. Now, remember, there's only 19 days until this election, so that gives her 9 days to be on the campaign trail once she gets back out there. But you have to also say, well, she could still do media. In fact, we have Congressman Huizenga. He tested positive just yesterday, and he will be on the program later today. He's going to be in his office at home, but we will be able to talk to him. So I hope Senator Harris will also say that she can continue campaigning and, most importantly, answering questions, because I think as his running mate, especially what we know of these sexually explicit pictures, we know that they are potentially with people who are being trafficked. There was mention of underage folks in these pictures. This is something that, especially as a woman, I would like to hear Senator Harris comment on. So I really am hoping that she doesn't take these next 10 days to stay off the campaign trail and not speak to anybody. Meanwhile, we have another big story in the news right now, and that is obviously the Coney Barrett hearings. They continue to go on. Senator Graham is asking folks to look at the merits of the person and look at her qualifications. This is what he had to say.
At the end of the day, I don't own what they do once they leave here. I make a judgment. Do the people before us, are they qualified by any reasonable standard of intellect and character? And the answer is yes. How did we get 96 and 97 votes for Scalia and Ginsburg? That was the analysis, was qualifications.
He's really pushing people to look at who she is. I have seen so many posts, Steve, because I'm always watching social media to see what just, American people are saying, not necessarily the media, but what Americans are saying. I've seen so many people pull out stories about Coney Barrett saying she's completely unqualified to do this job because of this and this. And there are things that these Democrat senators have pointed out. It just shows the power of the media, though, when they are picking and choosing when they're cherry picking the information that they're going to put out there. It really does have an effect on the Americans and how they think about people out there.
The American Bar Association, by the way, says she is completely qualified for the position of Associate Justice on the United States Supreme Court. And going back to your revelation, your breaking news on Kamala Harris having a staff member, her comms director actually, testing positive for COVID-19, makes you wonder this. You see, the United States Senate, you have to vote in person. Isn't it ironic that Senator Harris chose to be remote the last couple of days, did not appear in person for these confirmation hearings, but in order to vote, either yay or nay, you have to appear in person. I believe that is the rule of the United States Senate. So maybe the Democrats just lost one no vote on the road to whether or not Coney Barrett gets confirmed to the United States Supreme Court or not. It changes the dynamic just a little if she's out for 10 days, because we just learned they want to vote her out of committee on the 22nd of October and maybe have a vote in front of the full Senate within a day or two, Tudor. So is Kamala Harris able to vote or not? Big question.
Well, she was the one that said that you can do everything remotely. She was the proponent of that, so I would think that she would be pushing for herself to be in that vote. You're watching America's Voice Live. We have a break. We'll be right back.
Do you have any idea how your mattress affects your body and how well you sleep? Is it too hard or too soft, causing you to wake up with sore shoulders, back, or hips? Are you uncomfortable because you're too hot or too cold? Now you can get the total body support you need and the better sleep you want with the new MyPillow mattress topper.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell. When I invented my new MyPillow mattress topper, I made it to have everything you'd ever want in a topper. My mattress topper helps give you the support you need, helps relieve your pressure points, and regulates your body temperature for you as an individual. It comes with a 10-year warranty. You can wash and dry the cover. It's made in the USA, and I back it with my 60-day money-back guarantee.
Go to MyPillow.com or call now to get your very own MyPillow mattress topper. Use the promo code and Mike will give you 30% off and 2 standard MyPillows absolutely free. Order now.
MyPillow topper delivers on its promise to give me a better night's sleep.
I can sleep all night through, and it's a miracle for me.
Mike's exclusive 3-layer design starts with a layer of MyPillow foam, providing you superior support and comfort. The second layer of transitional foam evenly distributes body weight and helps relieve uncomfortable pressure points for optimal comfort. Mike's ultra soft outer layer is a patented temperature-regulating cover that helps keep you at your ideal sleeping temperature all night long. Unlike other sleep systems costing thousands, the MyPillow mattress topper takes comfort to a whole new level without any wires, remotes, or moving parts. Call now or go to MyPillow.com to order your MyPillow topper. Use the promo code to save 30%. When you do, Mike will give you 2 of his standard MyPillows absolutely free. That's right, 2 standard MyPillows free and 30% off your MyPillow topper today. Order now.
I personally guarantee it's going to change your bed into the most comfortable bed you'll ever own.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.com.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and I'm here to tell you about my new product from MyPillow. Towels that actually work. Watch this absorbency test. Here's another towel that we randomly went out and bought. Here's one of my towels with the nice design. I don't know if you can see this, but you could line a swimming pool with this. I mean, this is crazy. Get rid of it. Towels that actually work. What a concept.
I really love the towels. They're really great. They're super absorbent.
Go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen right now. The new MyPillow towels are exclusively made with 100% USA combed cotton with proprietary technology and with maximum absorbency. They dry you faster and are guaranteed to work. And listen to this. Use the promo code on your screen and Mike will include a second full towel set with bath towel, hand towel, and washcloth absolutely free. That's 2 MyPillow towel sets for the price of 1 in your choice of color.
I personally guarantee they're going to be the best towels you'll ever own.
Order now.
We've been talking about these hearings obviously all week. We've been following the hearings closely, and we have Ben Bergquam and Will Johnson outside of the hearing now, and they just happen to have found Kimberly Fletcher, who we had on the show last week. So I'm very excited that they have her out there because I think she's way more fascinating than Ben and Will. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, Ben. I just have to torture Ben every time we go to him, but I will throw it out to Ben now.
I think you're into something there. Well, and you know what? This is, I've been told so many times by liberals, if you don't have a uterus, you don't have an opinion. And so we had to bring a woman into the discussion. Kimberly, and tell me your name again. Julene. With Moms for America. Now they're actually out here in support of Amy Coney Barrett. One thing I want to note before we ask the question is the opposition has been really low. We heard today was going to be the big day. We hear Saturday they're going to have a couple thousand women out here. But so far what we've seen has been pretty mundane. Yeah, very weak is a good description of it. And I'm interested to know, ladies, so you're out here for Amy Coney Barrett. Why do you think we're having more supporters than we're actually having opposition this time around? I actually thought it would be the opposite.
I did too, honestly, but I think what they've realized is that the vote is already there. We already have the votes, and so this is more of a kind of a grandstanding and theatrics, and they're all making it about the president. They're not even really making it about the court this time. It's all about the president, and they've been showing a lot of theatrics pointing in that direction. They've been doing the same thing in the hearings, so that doesn't surprise me. The same thing that we're hearing, the mantra repeated in the hearings, is the same thing we're hearing out here from the protesters. It's also the same thing we're hearing from rioters across the country. So this comes down to one thing, and it's the destruction of our republic and the shredding of the very Constitution that the Supreme Court justices are to upheld. And I think that's what this is about.
Yeah, no, I couldn't disagree with you on that, Will.
No, I mean, she's going to be confirmed, and there's no reason for them not to. Right now, I think the Democrats are just showboating. They're just doing everything they can to convince everybody not to vote for President Trump because he's pushing her through. Where he's the president for 4 years, and everyone's been saying that. He's not the president for 3.5, 3.25, for 4 years. What do you think the Democrats plan on to achieving if they can't get, her to not be on the seat? Do you think that they're going to go through with the whole, fraudulent ballots? Do you think it's going to lead to that? Because right now, like you said, there's low turnout because there's nobody here protesting it because they're going to win.
I think they're in the background, and this is the one thing I tell people all the time. What you see in the front that's so radical and in your face is not what you need to be worried about. It's what's happening behind the scenes. So the fact that there's so little out here, we really need to be worried about what's going on behind the scenes.
That's a great point. You know, we've spent so much time over the last 4 years with division and distraction, and as our country's being undermined, for a long time they were doing it behind the scenes. Now, I want to get you in on the conversation as well. What is your number one, though? Why do you support Amy Coney Barrett so much? And what would you say to the people out there that don't support her? Why should they, in about 30 seconds?
Well, I know why I support her. I'm a mother of 7, so when I saw her walk out of the White House into the Rose Garden with her husband, and then trailing behind were these beautiful 7 children of various shades and sizes and ages, my heart welled up because I understand a little bit about her life. Her life is my life, and she's a woman full of faith, and she loves her children, and she loves the country, she loves the Constitution. These are all things that I value, and so I felt an immediate connection, and my heart soared to think that a faith-filled woman might actually be on the highest court in our nation.
Well, thank you both so much. More to come out here. Last day of the arguments in the confirmation process. We expect to vote next week, and then the final vote on the 27th. We shall see. Stephen Tudor.
Final vote on the 27th. Is that what he said? That would be Teddy Roosevelt's birthday. Of course, you do that, Tudor. I've been predicting for some time they would vote on Teddy Roosevelt's birthday. Of course, you know he's the 26th president of the United States as well. I know you do that. And a guy that ran for president.
You talk about it quite a bit.
2 or 3 times. Yeah, well, I know a guy that shares that birthday. Pretty cool guy, by the way, that shares Teddy Roosevelt's birthday. We'll talk about that during the break. I'm also seeing, by the way, the president holding a rally in Greenville, North Carolina today. The folks are gathered in by the thousands, as you can imagine. The president not quite to the rally site yet, but they are excited. We'll talk about here on America's Voice Live when we come back.
America's favorite easy on, easy off energy compression socks just got better. Introducing CopperFit Energy Plus, the world's first graduated compression socks with a rich blend of ingredients found in the top moisturizing lotions and creams. These microencapsulated ingredients are infused into the compression fabric and are gradually released and absorbed by your movement. Motion-activated technology designed to hydrate and soften for all-day comfort. The more you move, the more CopperFit Energy Socks delivers.
I'm not thinking about that I have compression socks on. That simple fact that they feel better with them on than with them off makes me love these socks.
Our most advanced copper-infused compression fabric made in FDA-approved manufacturing facilities, woven into our Easy On, Easy Off graduated compression sock to help reduce swelling and discomfort from prolonged sitting or standing.
I feel that soothingness in my calves and in my ankles, but they can make my feet feel good after 300 miles on the road, and they got to be good for anybody else.
Enhanced compression around the arch and ankles for extra support and relief of muscle aches and pains. And a soft, shock-absorbing footbed for all-day comfort.
All that arch pain that I typically have is just relieved.
They are super comfortable.
They do the job. They're easy and they're effective. That's the whole point of wearing them.
Commercials always promise, promise, promise. This was something easy to try. Just put on a sock, see if it works. I have to say that I'm a fan.
The first ever Easy On, Easy Off compression socks with hydrating ingredients, worn by thousands of essential workers across the U.S. Order your Energy Plus compression socks online now at GetEnergyPlus.com for only $19.99 or call 1-800-515-8892. Order right now and get a second pair free.
I get compression, I get comfort, all in one sock.
Motorcycle guys appreciate the better technology. This is better technology.
Feel the power of CopperFit.
If you're over 50, imagine you could turn back the clock on your stiff, achy joints 10, even 20 years. Imagine you could do this without products that just temporarily hide the symptoms and may have side effects. Imagine no more. Get your complimentary sample of Instaflex Advanced just by texting JOINT to 231231. Instaflex Advanced is different because it targets the root cause of joint soreness and stiffness. It doesn't just cover up symptoms. Instead, it bathes your joints in its unique combination of 5 key natural ingredients found in no other product. Key ingredients backed by 5 clinical studies. Instaflex Advanced is so powerful, you could have better knees in just 1 week. Maybe that's why it's #1 at GNC. But you can only get your complimentary sample by texting JOINT to 231231. Plus, text now and we'll include a tube of Instaflex pain cream with its exclusive oxygenated oil for fast-acting relief from the pain of arthritis, backaches, and sore muscles, absolutely free. Text JOINT to 231231.
As you can imagine, our good friends at Just the News are hot on the trail of Hunter Biden and this story of the laptop and the 40,000 emails as well. From Just the News, here's Carrie Sheffield.
Yes, this is the big story of the day. New questions around Hunter Biden. I want to read you a statement from the Biden campaign itself. Andrew Bates, a Biden spokesman, says, "The New York Post never asked the Biden campaign about the critical elements of the story." He goes on to say, "Moreover, we have reviewed Joe Biden's official schedules from the time, and no meeting, as alleged by the New York Post, ever took place." And in response, the Trump campaign, Tim Murtaugh, who's the communications director, says the Biden campaign does not dispute the authenticity of the emails published by the New York Post, which serves to confirm that they are real. They go on to say that rather than saying that he did not meet with him, they just said that access to the vice president does not appear on Joe Biden's official schedule. So this is going to be a dispute between whether the official narrative, the official documents, the official schedule of Vice President Joe Biden at the time state that he met with this Burisma official. The Biden campaign says there's no record of it. However, we do know that Politico and other outlets have reported that the Biden campaign has since walked that back and said, hey, even if it's not on the official campaign, there could have been some, quote, cursory meeting that happened off the books. Therein lies the big dispute. Did this meeting actually take place? It seems the Biden campaign is opening the door to say, yes, some type of meeting occurred. This will raise questions among voters' minds. Go to justthenews.com for the latest on this.
Well, that is remarkable, to say the least, that they've opened the door. Because if it were not true, you would just issue a blanket denial. That's what I've been saying from the beginning, saying it's not on your official calendar. Of course it's not. It's an off-the-books operation. You wouldn't put it on your official calendar, Tudor. But what it does, it pulls into question a lot of things that Joe Biden has said because he's been asked about this in the past.
Yes, absolutely. He has been asked about this in the past. In fact, we have a video of that. Let's play that now.
And I had gotten a commitment from Poroshenko and from Yatsenyuk that they would take action against the state prosecutor, and they didn't. So they said they were walking out to press conference. I said, no, I said, I'm not going to, or we're not going to give you the $1 billion. They said, you have no authority. You're not the president. The president said. I said, call him. I said, I'm telling you, you're not getting the $1 billion. I said, you're not getting the $1 billion. I'm going to be leaving here. And I think it was, 6 hours? I said, I'm leaving in 6 hours. If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Well, son of a bitch, got fired. And they put in place someone who was solid at the time. Well,
so this is him coming out and obviously exercising his power. This is when he said that the prosecutor was fired. He's been asked several times since this if his son had any inappropriate dealings in Ukraine. Now, we know, obviously, from these emails that there were some inappropriate dealings, not only with Ukraine, with Russia, with China, but when Joe Biden was asked about this on HBO, he got very defensive. But this has been, honestly, Steve, this has been kind of his MO this entire campaign season, is that when he is asked about Hunter, he gets very defensive. And at times he's even talked about the fact that Beau Biden died to try to change the narrative, which obviously we all are very sad that Beau Biden died, but it doesn't change what Hunter Biden did. Take a look at his reaction when asked about this on HBO.
Hunter Biden, your son, was getting paid a lot of money to serve on the board of a Ukrainian energy company facing serious corruption charges. You were the vice president running point on Ukraine. The average Joe hears that and says, that sounds fishy. What's your understanding of what your son was doing for an extraordinary amount of money?
I don't know what he was doing. I know he was on the board. I found out he was on the board after he was on the board, and that was it. And there's nobody.
Well, you've had a lot of time. Isn't this something you want to get to the bottom of?
No, because I trust my son.
But that doesn't pass the smell test. Like when you're vice president, isn't there a higher standard? Don't you need to know what's happening with your family? Don't you need to put down some guardrails?
Unless there was something that was, there was something on its face that was wrong. There's nothing on its face that was wrong.
Money going to the big guy. I think that might have been on the face. It was totally wrong when you look at that.
Yeah.
Of course, we don't know who the big guy is, Steve, but in those emails, Hunter Biden does talk about holding, I think it was $10 million for the big guy, or was it 10,000? There's money being held for the big guy. We don't know who the big guy is, but there is suspicion that that may have been Joe Biden. Now, in those emails, he does say that this is interesting to me and my family. And so we know that the family is involved. I don't believe he's talking about his children in these emails, Steve. It seems as though he's talking about his father, which also in these emails clearly set up this meeting. Now, we heard Carrie Sheffield talking about it, like you said, not being on his official schedule. This is not unusual. Just because it's not on his official schedule does not mean it didn't happen. And in fact, I agree with Carrie on this. I agree with her point where she says, because they're saying that, it indicates that it did actually happen, because they're pushing back, well, officially, we don't have a record of it, but potentially he did meet with these folks, Steve.
It looks likely, in fact, that he did, in fact, meet with him in a cursory manner. They've opened that door to Politico, like you just heard. But there's so much more to all of this. 40,000 emails and text messages. Like I said, you're going to see news organizations ferreting through this. And Twitter and Facebook can do whatever they please, but they're not going to stand on this story. Quite frankly, too many people get the Daily Mail. Too many people get the New York Post, as you pointed out earlier, the fourth largest newspaper in America. And as you dig through all of this, let's put together the timeline. The video we just saw where Joe Biden says, son of a, and the prosecutor gets fired, that came less than a year after this meeting. So to lay it out for you, Hunter Biden is approached by Burisma. He's offered a position on their board. Sometime about a year later, it appears, he took the time to introduce the number 3 man at Burisma to his father while that man was in Washington, D.C. Less than a year after that, Joe Biden intervenes and takes out the prosecutor that was looking into Burisma, investigating them for corruption, money laundering, dirty dealing. All the time, Hunter Biden's collecting checks monthly between $50,000 and $80,000. But then we find all these connections to Chinese companies, and you have to wonder, this large Chinese energy company, $30 million, according to the Daily Mail, lined Hunter Biden's pockets. And then the guy that he was making the deal with, he vanished. He's nowhere to be found. Remarkable. Even more remarkable, with all this money, Hunter Biden seems to have been unable to pay child support. Oh, I'm sorry, that didn't seem quite fair. I apologize.
I think it's somewhere around $156 million that he's worth now, based on his paternity reports in that child care hearing, and whether or not he would have to pay his money to the stripper that gave birth to his baby. But in the meantime, it looks like he received
$156 million for a guy that's never had a job. I mean, isn't that remarkable to you? A guy, $156 million. What has he ever done to earn anything? Honestly, ask yourself. To arrange introductions for $30 million? Yeah.
Yeah, why would Chinese government officials, and this is what we are hearing from the attorney for Rudy Giuliani, that it was Chinese government officials that made the deal with him to pay him $10 million a year in consulting fees. Now, the average American has got to hear that over 3 years' time, because this was a 3-year contract, he received $30 million from the Chinese Communist Party for consulting fees for a man who has never had any business dealings whatsoever. So you can only imagine that those consulting fees go somewhere to the United States government, which would be where his father was vice president at the time. I agree, it doesn't pass the smell test. We'll be right back here on America's Voice Live.
Stay tuned to get a free pan from Granite Stone. Stuck on eggs, burnt on batter. You can scrub and scrape, but you can't escape the nightmare of your sticky pans. Introducing the Granite Stone Pan, the all-new durable non-stick pan. No butter or oil needed. Watch, we melted down these sticky candies in Granite Stone, and it just doesn't stick. We cooked a half a dozen eggs, bacon, cheese, and tomato breakfast with no butter or oil, and it just doesn't stick. Look, caramels, chocolate, and cheese. Unreal for any other pan, but not for Granite Stone. It just doesn't stick. Granite Stone will be the last pan you'll ever need because it's pressed cast from a solid aluminum disc for even heat conduction. Then coated 3 times with our durable Granite Stone finish. Granite Stone is metal utensil safe and won't scratch. And talk about non-stick. This salmon cooked skin side down with no added butter or oil, just doesn't stick. This steak is perfectly seared, just like the pros. And because Granite Stone is oven rated to 500 degrees, we bake this upside down pan pizza to perfection, and it just doesn't stick. Fire Flambe Delicious Cherries Jubilee. Plus, it's PFOA free and 100% dishwasher safe. Call or go online to get your Granite Stone pan for the special TV discount price of just $19.99. Granite Stone is so durable it comes with a 10-year warranty. And with every order, you're going to get a Granite Stone single-serve egg pan absolutely free. It's the perfect size for personalized eggs, omelets, or frittatas that slide right out. It makes the best bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich quick. Yours absolutely free. We'll even ship your entire order free. That's right, free shipping. You get it all, an incredible value. Here's how to order.
To order, call 1-800-850-0237. That's 1-800-850-0237, or order online at buygranitestone.com. That's 1-800-850-0237. Call now.
This is the kind of card that has America talking. With it, people with Medicare are getting all-in-one coverage for their doctor visits, hospital care, prescription drugs, and more. This kind of insurance, called Medicare Part C, may also cover dental care, eyeglasses, hearing aids, fitness programs, vitamins, even healthy meals and rides to the doctor. With this kind of coverage, you do not need a Medicare supplement insurance plan. You will access your benefits through your Medicare Part C plan for one low and oftentimes $0 monthly plan premium. You deserve to get the most from your Medicare benefits. Call now for free information that may help you get more coverage for less money. There is no obligation to enroll. Whether for yourself or someone you love, call the number on the screen now. Call now.
Well, the president has arrived in Greenville, North Carolina for his rally today. We're going to join that rally live now.
Now, big tech, you see what's going on with big tech? Is censoring these stories to try and get Biden out of this impossible jam. He's in a big jam. You know, his son left his laptop at some place, fixed my laptop, he forgot to pick it up. The guy from the laptop, it looks like he saw it. He said, wow, this is really criminal stuff. He brought it to the FBI. Can you believe this? This could only happen to me and the people of North Carolina, though. This could only happen to us. Can you imagine he's fixing a laptop? He says, this is really bad stuff. I think I'll bring it into law enforcement. Anyway, they've got it. They've got a lot of them. I hear they have stuff coming out you won't even believe. Yeah, you'll believe it. He and his family are crooked, and they were caught. They got caught. Now they're being protected by big tech. And if big tech persists in coordination with the mainstream media, we must immediately strip them of their Section 230 protection. Okay, it's very simple. And we all believe in freedom of the press, but don't forget, big tech got something years ago that let them become big tech. They got total protection. They don't get sued. They don't get anything. They're totally protected. So the government gave that. So that takes away that little feeling that, oh, gee, we can't talk to them about freedom of the press, etc. No, we're going to take away their Section 230 unless they shape up. And believe it or not, even the Democrats agree. Of course, the only problem we have when they say that we're against, it's like the wall. You know, we're building the wall. It's going up. It was so hard. It was so hard getting that done. There was very few people could have gotten that done. We're up over 400 miles, but here's what's happened. I just think back. All I had to say is we will not build the wall. They would have given me so much money. I had to say we were building it, but we got it going, and we have the safest southern border we've ever had, so that's all good. In 2016, North Carolina voted to fire this corrupt and decrepit political establishment, and you elected an outsider as President of the United States who put America first. And we've done a job. We've done a great job, and it's been amazing. And our comeback, nobody's ever done anything like what we did, and then we got hit by the China plague. Shouldn't have let it happen. And we're now coming back at a level that nobody's ever seen before. Nobody thought it was possible. They thought we'd be at 42% unemployment. We just hit 7.8%. Can you believe it? Now, we were at 3.5%. I even went to North Carolina. I needed a good chief of staff. I said, where is he? Where's Mark Meadows? Where's Mark? Where's Mark? Come here, Mark. Come here. Can you imagine I had to go to North Carolina to find my chief of staff? He's great. No, he's done a great job. He's done a great job. And he followed me, and I said, you know what? I just tested positive. He didn't care. He was in that helicopter. Hey, he's from North Carolina. What can I say? He's great. Doing a great job. You elected me to restore the principle that's a nation's first duty, and it's to its own citizens. We're about our country, right? I'm president of our country. We're not president of the world. We're not president of the world. USA. So if I don't sound like a typical Washington politician, it's because I'm not a politician. And if I don't always seem to be playing by the rules of the Washington establishment, it's because I was elected to fight for you harder than any other president has ever fought for our country's people. And right now I'm fighting to eradicate the virus, and we're doing really a good job. We're rounding the turn. You see what's going on in Europe? It's flaming up. These characters back there that say, well, look at Europe. Well, I'll tell you what, go take a look. Go take a look. No, we're doing a great job. We're doing a great job. They didn't give the credit. I don't want the credit. But our vice president worked 24 hours a day. Mike Barrett. And we had a lot of governors. They worked.
Looks like a gorgeous fall day in Greenville, North Carolina. The president holding a rally there midday. Thousands of people have turned out. Of course, he touched on Joe Biden and the scandal that's going on. We dip out only because we want to join Laura Trump, senior advisor to the Trump campaign, joining us live on the telephone from the campaign trail. Laura, thank you for taking the time to be with us today.
Oh, you got it. Well, I'm sorry I'm interrupting the president's speech, but I'm so happy to be with you.
Well, that's okay. We want to ask you something that he's been talking about anyway. This has been remarkable over the last 24 hours. The New York Post putting out bombshell stories, 2 of them being shut down by Twitter and Facebook, being silenced, being censored. Really, I don't know how else you would look at it, Laura. But they are remarkable stories. I'm sure you'll hear the president talk about it tonight on NBC beginning at 8 o'clock. What is your take on all of this?
Well, how absolutely outrageous that we have social media outlets like Twitter and Facebook who have so much power, not only over people's thoughts and the way they act on a day-to-day basis, but then they would go forward and say that they are going to censor, as you just said, tweets, shut down our campaign Twitter handle because we tweeted out a story that was posted in the 4th largest newspaper in the country, the New York Post. Are these people serious? What very clearly is happening, and I think the American people are recognizing it, is that the mainstream media for a long time and social media companies, big tech, has been in the back pocket of the Democrats. They have been helping them every step of the way. This is no different. A story comes out that calls out Hunter Biden for some very questionable dealings while Joe Biden happened to be vice president, going against some of the things that Joe Biden himself has said. And all of a sudden, they are shutting that down so that people can't actually gather the information for themselves. It's really scary. It's really insane. It doesn't feel like this should be happening in the United States of America. This is what happens in communist countries. and we have to call it out, and it has to be stopped immediately.
You're absolutely right, but how different would this be if this were a story about Eric Trump or Don Jr.? What would we be seeing from social media then?
Oh my gosh. Well, how I would like the same offer extended to me personally when I've had stories written about me that are 100% completely false. Yet somehow Twitter allows those to be spread like wildfire. Somehow Facebook allows those to remain posted. And our entire family obviously has been victim to this. But if any one of these allegations had been against someone with the last name Trump, you better believe that every major television station would have broken in with breaking news. This would be splashed across the headlines of every newspaper in the entire country. This is all the mainstream media would be talking about for the next week solid, and yet it is crickets. Not one network ran with this last night. ABC, NBC, CBS, it was not on television. It was not in local news. No one is talking about this except the Trump campaign. And it's really frightening, again, to see the double standard out there and to see the censorship between Biden versus Trump. It's really outrageous.
Steve, I don't have any audio on you. Laura, I want to take you to the campaign trail. I know you're out there now. We're actually in Michigan here calling this MAGA week because we've had you, your husband, we've had Mike Pence. We will have the president in my town this weekend. I'm very excited about that. In fact, I will tell you that monitoring the informed pages for our town and neighboring towns, everyone is very excited about that, but there are 19 days left. What can we expect to see from the campaign? Obviously, you had a little bit of time off when you were all in quarantine. What can we expect for the next 19 days?
Well, look, Michigan is a really important state to us. They said that it was impossible for Donald Trump to win Michigan in 2016. Don't forget they said it was impossible for Donald Trump to be president in 2016. But we worked really hard on the ground here. You might remember that this is the last state that President Trump visited during the campaign in 2016, our absolute last rally, which wrapped up at about 2 o'clock in the morning on Election Day in 2016, was here in Michigan, because we saw the signs on the ground that the people of Michigan were ready for change. They were ready to vote for somebody that actually had their back and would fight for them. And look, we were so proud of the win here in Michigan in 2016. We are here on the ground. As you said, it's MAGA week. I love that. And you're going to continue to see us hit the ground hard, work for every vote. We are 19 days away from the most consequential election in modern American history, and we're not taking anything for granted. We play every second of the game like we're behind. So you're going to see the Trump campaign in full force on the ground here in Michigan over the next 19 days.
All right, really quick, the last thing I want to ask is, we know that right now it looks like Donald Trump is ahead in Florida by just a smidge. What are you expecting in battleground states? And so many people are asking me, as women, what can we do to still be involved in this campaign before Election Day?
Oh, well, we would love more people to volunteer. Right now we have 2 million volunteers. We've knocked around 20 million doors in this country. You can go to armyfortrump.com and sign up to be a volunteer. We would absolutely love that kind of support. Look, here's the reality. The polls have always been wrong when Donald Trump is involved in any measure. So in 2016, in our battleground states, we actually saw in our internal polls that Hillary Clinton's lead over Donald Trump was larger than Joe Biden's lead currently is in some of these battleground states. So do not believe the polls. They are designed to suppress people from coming out to vote for Donald Trump, make you say, it's not worth it, I won't go out and vote. Absolutely, get out and vote on Election Day. Make sure you're registered. Make sure not only do you go vote for Donald Trump at the top of the ticket, but vote for Republicans all the way down the ticket. We need to maintain the Senate, and we need to take back the House on November 3rd. And in your local elections, look, we've all seen this year why it's so important to know who represents you on a local level, because so many of these lockdowns, so many of the mayors who have not taken the violent riots seriously, that is up to them. That's a local level. It's important to know who you're voting for. You want to vote Republican, red, all the way down the ticket.
Thank you. Well, you can tell the president that there are many people this weekend that he is coming to see in Muskegon, in this town, that are coming out just because they are so thrilled to be able to share the president and Air Force One with their children. I've heard so many people say that this is going to be something that they will remember for generations to come. So thank you so much for coming on today, Lara Trump.
You got it. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. And we are going to head back out to that rally now and see what the president is saying, because I know he changed his speech last night. I'm sure he is hot on Hunter Biden's trail now.
But we're going to go to that.
Stops that white people who are actually.
It's NBC, the worst, home of Sleepy Eyes Chuck Todd and some others. And they gave Lester Holt, he's a beauty, they gave Joe Biden a week ago a town hall, and it was meant for children. In fact, speaking of Barron Trump, fully recovered in like a record time, Barron Trump would do great on that show because he's a young child. They asked him questions that a child could answer, any child. A smart child, not such a smart child. And they got taken apart. You know, it was a joke. It was a joke. And so they asked me if I do it, and I figured, what the hell, we get a free hour on television. And we have Savannah Guthrie. She's always lovely, isn't she? But I figure, why not? What's the difference in tone between what they did to this guy that can't put two sentences together and what they do to me? But with me, it's our life. We know what we're doing, and we just go on and we do it. But they're doing him on ABC. And actually, I'd like to watch him because I want to see if he can make it through the program. And in honesty, they'll be so soft. George Stephanopoulos, I did him a couple of weeks ago, was fine. His questions were unfair. They said that the audience is neutral. Turned it out that they only had never-Trumpers in there, but these are minor, little minor facts. Well, that happened with the other guy, too. It was supposed to be neutral. It turned out that they were all like big Democrats, right? Big Democrats. Because you know what? The fake news media is corrupt, okay? It's corrupt. And we've shown it so many times. So I'll see you later on NBC. I look forward to it. We're going to be doing it from Miami, where we're doing very well in Florida, too, by the way. We just got numbers.
Do you have any idea how your mattress affects your body and how well you sleep? Is it too hard or too soft, causing you to wake up with sore shoulders, back, or hips? Are you uncomfortable because you're too hot or too cold? Now you can get the total body support you need and the better sleep you want with the new MyPillow mattress topper.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell. When I invented my new MyPillow mattress topper, I made it to have everything you'd ever want in a topper. My mattress topper helps give you the support you need, helps relieve your pressure points, and regulates your body temperature for you as an individual. It comes with a 10-year warranty. You can wash and dry the cover. It's made in the USA, and I back it with my 60-day money-back guarantee.
Go to MyPillow.com or call now to get your very own MyPillow mattress topper. Use the promo code and Mike will give you 30% off and 2 standard MyPillows absolutely free. Order now.
MyPillow topper delivers on its promise to give me a better night's sleep.
I can sleep all night through, and it's a miracle for me.
Mike's exclusive 3-layer design starts with a layer of MyPillow foam, providing you superior support and comfort. The second layer of transitional foam evenly distributes body weight and helps relieve uncomfortable pressure points for optimal comfort. Mike's ultra soft outer layer is a patented temperature-regulating cover that helps keep you at your ideal sleeping temperature all night long. Unlike other sleep systems costing thousands, the MyPillow mattress topper takes comfort to a whole new level without any wires, remotes, or moving parts. Call now or go to MyPillow.com to order your MyPillow topper. Use the promo code to save 30%. When you do, Mike will give you 2 of his standard MyPillows absolutely free. That's right, 2 standard MyPillows free and 30% off your MyPillow topper today. Order now.
I personally guarantee it's going to change your bed into the most comfortable bed you'll ever own.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.com.
So Frank, you're the big hurt. Why do you need Nugenix?
After 40, a guy loses free testosterone. Even me. I couldn't stay in shape like I used to.
Frank.
So does Nugenix really work? Oh yeah, my workouts are incredible now. I'm feeling stronger, more energetic, with a lot more drive.
So say I knew someone who should try Nugenix.
How does he do that?
It's easy. Just send a text to get a complimentary bottle.
Frank's right. Now you can claim a complimentary bottle of award-winning Nugenix by texting BUFF to 42424. Its unique formula is powered by Testofen, a patented key ingredient clinically researched to help a man feel stronger, leaner, more energetic, and more passionate. Text BUFF to 42424 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of new Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. That's BUFF to 42424.
Welcome back to America's Voice Live on a very busy Thursday. A lot of live events going on. We checked in with the president. He is live currently in Greenville, North Carolina. The crowd is intense, but that's not all, Tudor.
No, we also still have the confirmation hearing for Judge Amy Coney Barrett going on. In fact, we want to review that right now. We want to go back into that live as well. Here it is.
Not accurate. People are still dying every day. In fact, 1,000 Americans each day are dying because of COVID. And there's a lot that Congress could be doing to help my patients. You could be potentially expanding unemployment, giving people cash assistance. My patients are having difficulty paying rent. I have patients who are finding difficulty even getting food to eat every day. I have patients with difficulty affording medications. And so my patients are facing real life challenges, and they can't afford to wait for an election. And they can't afford for Congress to continue with the hyper-partisanship that we're seeing. They need action now. And that's one of the main reasons I came today, was to advocate on behalf of my patients. Specifically, giving people access to health care. Anybody who has a COVID-related illness shouldn't have to worry about going bankrupt because of that illness. And then making sure that we protect those people moving forward so that they don't lose their health insurance at any point in the future because of their pre-existing conditions. So those are just some of the things that I think could be done to help protect my patients and help them get a leg up.
Thank you, Doctor. It's my hope that we will find a path in these last 3 weeks before the election to actually deliver a meaningful bipartisan package. It should be robust, and it should provide resources, particularly for grassroots medical clinics. Ms. Staggs, I appreciated your advocacy around the health care of your children. You've spoken about how the Affordable Care Act is vital to keeping your children healthy and safe. My colleagues have said over and over again they want to repeal and replace the ACA. One of my challenges has been finding the replacement plan. Can you tell me what their replacement plan is for the ACA?
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Now I can.
A few weeks ago, President Trump was here in Charlotte and signed an executive order that he said would protect pre-existing conditions. First of all, the Affordable Care Act is a whole heck of a lot more than protections against pre-existing condition exclusions. Second of all, the executive order that was signed per White House counsel had no legal effect. It was a great idea, but I have to tell you, like you, I remain all ears and incredibly eager to hear and see and read and consider an effective replacement plan. I know that my own senator, Senator Tillis, is he in the chamber today?
He's no longer here. He was earlier.
Okay. I know that Senator Tillis has put forth what is called a PROTECT Act that uses the term pre-existing conditions, but in effect doesn't meet the standard that we currently have with the Affordable Care Act. So I would just say to that the American people are on pins and needles and feeling very anxious or whatever replacement plan might someday appear, so we can understand what the impact is. I'm sure you can understand then the anxiety that comes with the absence of that. I mean, since 2017, when the little lobbyists first started to come together, we've been facing a future with threats to the Affordable Care Act minus a viable replacement, while our children's lives hang in the balance. It's been incredibly difficult and stressful for years, and that continues and feels more immediate with each day.
Well, thank you, Ms. Staggs. One of the things I try to emphasize in talking to people in Delaware is that the Affordable Care Act doesn't just protect the 20 million Americans who get their health care through ACA exchanges. It doesn't just protect the north of 100, maybe as many as 130 million Americans who have pre-existing conditions, now 7 million more because of this pandemic. It actually protects a majority of Americans. And this is relevant because we were this week considering a successor to Justice Ginsburg. It prohibits discrimination against women on the basis of gender. It doesn't allow insurance companies to treat pregnancy as a pre-existing condition or to charge more just because women are women. So it literally protects a majority of the American people. Let me close with just two questions, if I might, of Ms. Clark from the Lawyers Committee. Ms. Clark, my staff has identified, and I put up a board yesterday of 120 Supreme Court cases that were decided 5-4 that I now believe are at risk of reconsideration or reversal if Judge Barrett is confirmed. One of these 120 cases is Gruber versus Bollinger. It's a 2003 decision that upheld the promotion of racial diversity in admissions at the University of Michigan. Just this past week, the Trump administration sued Yale University for its efforts to promote racial diversity. A case similar to that, the administration has also recently supported against Harvard. Can you explain the impact this case has had for the nation and the consequences if it were overturned?
Thank you, Senator, for that question. There are a number of critical cases in the Supreme Court pipeline, and some of the most high-stakes cases are cases involving challenges to race-conscious admissions policies at colleges and universities across our country. As you know, the Justice Department just recently and astoundingly sued Yale University. There have been similar suits brought against Harvard University, the University of North Carolina, the University of Texas at Austin. My organization is involved in all three of those cases, and they are on a fast track to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has held that race can be one among a number of factors that our colleges consider in pulling together their college classes. What's at stake here is racial diversity, just the principle of racial diversity. I am deeply concerned that a Justice Barrett on the Supreme Court would upend the precedents that have been firmly established in this area, and that would turn back decades of progress in our nation and result in colleges and universities that are not racially diverse, colleges and universities that lock the door on Black students and Latino students who are deserving of access, roll back the clock on equal opportunity. So I'm glad that you asked this question, Senator Coons, because it really underscores how high stakes this nomination is for our nation.
Ms. Clark, you did some important early work in your career on election protection. And President Trump and members of this committee have repeatedly attacked the validity of mail-in voting. Even though the president himself, members of his family, our troops overseas, our diplomats routinely use mail-in voting as a way to cast their ballots securely, and there being no credible evidence of widespread voter fraud. We've actually, in reality, seen efforts by the administration to undermine the proper functioning of the Postal Service. We've seen the governor of Texas blatantly try to make it more difficult for voters to submit their ballots in a timely fashion in this upcoming election. We've seen lines between 5 and I think as many as 10 hours in the state of Georgia for those who are lining up for early voting stations. And the president has openly called for voter intimidation. Can you speak to the impacts of these impediments on voting how they differ from the impact of any alleged voter fraud, and how this does or doesn't align with a long and tragic history in this country of voter suppression.
Ma'am, you certainly may answer the question, just briefly if possible.
Yes, Chairman. Senator Coons, voter suppression is alive and well across our country. We see it each and every day in places like Texas, Georgia, North Carolina, states that were covered by Section 5 of the Voting Rights Act. We know that people are struggling to access the ballot amid the pandemic, and there have been lawsuits to tear down the unconstitutional barriers to the ballot, which is why Judge Barrett's views on voting rights matters, and which is why it has been very disturbing to listen to Judge Barrett this week express an unwillingness to acknowledge that voter intimidation is unlawful, to express an unwillingness to acknowledge that voting discrimination is ongoing and exists. And these cases are in the Supreme Court pipeline and on the court's docket, which is why, again, we oppose Judge Barrett's nomination to the Supreme Court. She will turn the clock back on voting rights in our country.
Thank you very much, Ms. Clark. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you to all our witnesses.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Chairman, I just want to thank you. This has been one of the best set of hearings that I've participated in, and I want to thank you for your fairness and the opportunity of going back and forth. It leaves one with a lot of hopes, a lot of questions, and even some ideas of perhaps some good bipartisan legislation we can put together to make this great country even better. So thank you so much for your leadership.
Well, one, that means a lot to me, and I know we have very different views about the judge and whether we should be doing this or not. But having said all that, to my Democratic colleagues, you have challenged the judge, you've challenged us, and I accept those challenges as being sincere and not personal. I don't think anybody crossed the line with the judge in terms of trying to demean her as a person. To the people on my side, thank you very much for being involved and, telling our side of the story and asking the judge about your concerns. One thing we can tell you, as long as there's Senator Grassley, there'll be a question about ethanol. To Senator Feinstein, you're a joy to work with. To our staffs, I know this has been very hard, a lot of pressure on both sides. To the people who set up the room, thank you. To the witnesses who chose to participate today, as private citizens, thank you. To the police officers who made this go well, thank you. To my staff who bore the brunt of this, I really do thank you. So what we're going to do now is end where we began. My view of the Affordable Care Act is different from South Carolina's point of view. We're getting about $1 billion less because of the formula. We're down to one exchange. We started with 5 and premiums have gone up. Those issues will be decided at the ballot box. It's close election everywhere. All I can say is that voting does matter, and I'm sorry that anybody has to wait in line. We need to make sure we deal with that as a nation. But voting participation in South Carolina is very strong. I am happy about that. This is a chance to have your say. The stakes are high, as has been well articulated here. But let me just say, the election will come, winners will be declared, and we get to start over. The thing I like most about democracies is a journey without a destination. When are we going to get there? We never actually do. When you're a child, you're wanting to get to wherever you want, you're excited about going. It really is the journey. And I don't know how this election is going to come out. I'm hopeful for our side. I feel good about it. But having said that, 2016 was a curveball in many ways. And I just don't know what's going to happen. But the more people vote, the better. And when it's all over, and it'll be over in a few weeks, I'll just say this. If I'm around, I will commit myself to starting over, looking forward, not backward. And to the Judiciary Committee, we've talked about things that really matter. We've had our differences, but we're talking about Section 230. I think that's mattering more every day. And the fact that We had a unanimous vote to make sure that social media outlets earn their 230 protection when it comes to protecting children against sexual exploitation. It's a darn good place to start. A lot of smart people on this committee, I mean incredibly smart about antitrust, about intellectual property. So this committee, in my view, even though we've had a rough ride lately, has the potential, if we all embrace it, to engage each other and make America a stronger, safer place. To my friend, Senator Lee, I don't think anybody likes their job more than you do. I've never seen anybody, Senator Coons, you're definitely in that category, who's so enthusiastic about the law and politics. I'll end with this. Judge Barrett, I have had an opportunity to witness several people apply for the job of being a Supreme Court justice. I've never met a more amazing human being in my life. Not from just the professor who helped the struggling young blind student and everybody else she's helped, but just your knowledge of the law, your disposition, your character, and the ABA rating, I think, was well earned. So the hearing regarding Judge Amy Barrett to become Associate Justice of the Supreme Court is now over. The markup will be October the 22nd. To all who got us here, thank you very much.
And there you have it. We have convened the hearing for the confirmation of Judge Amy Coney Barrett. Everyone survived. All of the questions were somewhat fair, and I think it was very nice how it ended there between Senator Feinstein and Senator Graham. Very nice comments between the two of them. So all is well in the Senate Judiciary Committee. Steve?
Yeah, clean slate, very nice. No real contentions during the last 4 days since they began on Monday. The markup comes on the 22nd. Currently, though, the president still speaking in Greenville, North Carolina at a rally midday. Beautiful day there. Let's rejoin the president at the podium.
Go along with it, and it's going to be unbelievable. Another week, they'll be voting. The full Senate will be voting. And I don't know what can stop it, because she's so good. It's a freight train, okay? But the fact is, so we'll have three. But you know what Joe Biden has to say? Who, if he has, because the next president, whoever it may be, it better be us. Because if it's not, honestly, you will not have the same country. Because the next president, the next term, will have anywhere from 1, 2, 3, and even 4 picks. Very unusual. I was very unusual at 3. It's a record. But you know what? For a term. But you know what? The next could have, just by statistically, 1, 2, 3, or 4. So your whole court is as good as we're doing now. And if I didn't do this, you wouldn't even have a Second Amendment. You wouldn't have a Second Amendment. But if they put on 2, 3, or 4, that means they will override, and that's good for 30, 40, 50 years. And you know, the judges, they go in young and they last for a long time, which is nice. So Biden has to go out, and he has to not only talk about not packing the court, because anybody who wants to pack the court shouldn't win. And Justice Ginsburg said that. She said, no, the 9, we're friendly, we get together, we're for the country. She said, she made the greatest case for 9. Once you get a big group of people, then you're into the Senate, you're into the House. You know, we've already got that, right? And this is a great institution, maybe our greatest institution, and we can't let some radical group of people destroy it. So, number 1, he can't pack the court, and number 2, he's got to explain one of 25 or 30 or 40 or 50 people. But he's got to put up a list of people from which he'll choose. And the voters have to know who those people are. And he can't get away with, I'll tell you after the election, and then destroy our country. He can't do it. So that's it. That's it. That's much more interesting than going off a teleprompter when you think of it. But no, but you got to say it. You got to say it like it is. So Biden's agenda would be catastrophe for North Carolina seniors, and you know that better than anybody. For years, Biden tried to cut Social Security and Medicare. People don't know that about him, but he tried to cut your Social Security. You know, great genius. He's going to cut your Social Security and your Medicare. Now Biden's pledging mass amnesty and free health care for illegal aliens, and you saw that 3 months ago when he's on stage, and he said to all of these very radical left candidates, who wants to give illegal aliens free health care? And they all raised their hand, and Biden didn't. And then you could see his right shoulder. It was the corpse. I say, he's the corpse. And his shoulder was, he looked around, he didn't know what the hell was happening. But he knew everyone else's hand was up. Remember that, though? He was like, he knew it was wrong. Look, he's been there for 47 years, hasn't done a damn thing. He's been there 47. He knew it was wrong, but his right shoulder started moving. And I said, I just won the election. I said, isn't that nice? And you know what? We all have a heart. But what that does is it brings millions of people into our country. They all want to get health care. They want to get education. They want to get all the things that they want to give them. And you can't do it. You can't afford it. But that's what they want. So we're not going to let that happen because it'll decimate Medicare and destroy your Social Security and everything else. Well, I'm president. No one will touch your Medicare or your Social Security. And under my leadership, we're developing the vaccines and therapies and all of those things. And you vote for me, prosperity is happening already. It's happening. It's happening so fast. Nobody can believe it. We're the #1 country in the world by far for economic comeback. And we went down less than any other country. Think of that. Normal life, that's what we want. We want normal. I don't want to talk. We want normal. We want to get back to where we were 9 months ago, 8 months ago. We want to have those football stadiums, those great teams of yours. We want to have people sitting next to each other, screaming like crazy. You look at the stands, we have a person and then 20 empty seats. No, that's not it. And we'll be back. We're going to be back very soon. Next year will be maybe the greatest economic year, one of the greatest economic years, but maybe the greatest economic year. I think better than last year. Last year was your best. I think we're going to do better. And to a large extent, this election's about many things, but it's between a Trump recovery and a Biden depression. Because if they get in, they're going to raise your taxes quadruple. He says it. They're going to allow millions of illegal aliens in, and they're going to let regulations, all of the cutting that I've done on regulation, which is a number that no president has ever even come close to, whether they were 4, 8, or in one case, more than that. They're going to let all those regulations come back in. And the farmers know what I'm talking about, and the tobacco growers know what I'm talking about. Because you couldn't even farm your land. You had so many regulations. Joe Biden would terminate our recovery, delay the vaccine, prolong the pandemic, and annihilate North Carolina's economy with draconian, unscientific lockdowns. He'll keep you locked down, except at a level that you've never seen before. You won't have a state by the time this guy finishes up. Biden's plan will crush America. My plan is already crushing the virus. Look at our numbers. Look at our numbers. This week, oh, damn it. He must have lost his job. He must have been a nice guy. I'm sure he lost his job. This week, even the failing New York Times, the poor writer, I read this and I said, this guy is gone. But I didn't know him, so what the heck. The New York Times said that we had, this is the quote, experts are saying, quote, with genuine confidence that the pandemic in the United States will be over far sooner than anybody ever expected. How about that? New York Times. That's right. The writer of that article is gone now, but may he rest in peace. They don't want to say that. They're not happy to hear that because they don't really have our interest at heart. Our early and aggressive action saved so many lives, millions of lives. We pioneered all of these incredible therapies and reduced the fatality rate 80, think of it, 85%. We understand the disease and we have things that work. And I'm working to make the antibody treatment that I received available to anybody that wants it, that has a problem, free. And it's free because it wasn't your fault. It wasn't your fault, and I only hope it works as well on you. But I tell you, I felt like Superman a day later. Here I am. Here I am. I actually looked at the doctor. He's here with us now. Great doctors. We had so many doctors. I never saw so many doctors. All geniuses. Lowest IQ, 187. And they weren't thrilled. But I looked at him and said, I don't know what the hell you gave me, but I want some more of it. Now, it was a transfusion, and it was, like, amazing. So we're going to make that available to everybody. We're trying to get it immediately approved by the FDA, and Dr. Hahn is working at the FDA to get it. And hopefully you don't need it. And for the most part, you won't need it, I think, for the most part. But you need it. We're going to get it to you, and you're going to get it, and you're going to get better. And I call it a cure. They call it a therapeutic. I call it a cure. Regeneron. And they have others that are very similar. Great companies. I told you before, Eli Lilly, etc. Through Operation Warp Speed, we will have 100 million vaccine doses before the end of this year. The vaccine will end the pandemic, but it's ending anyway. I mean, they go crazy when I say it. It's going to peter out. And it's going to end. But we're going to help the end, and we're going to make it a lot faster with the vaccine and with the therapeutics and, frankly, with the cures. So we're joined today by some incredible warriors and friends of ours. Congressman David Rouser. Where is he, David? David Rouser. Here's a warrior. How we doing, David? We doing okay in the state? You're doing good. Do you have any competition in the race? Any competition or not much? I love that. I like when they say, not much, sir. But if they have, I'm always there to help, right? I'm there to help. Thank you, David. Great job. We have a candidate for North Carolina Superintendent of Public Instruction, Catherine Truitt. Catherine. Great. Great. Thank you. Good job, Catherine. I heard that. Chairwoman of the Republican National Committee, Ronna McDaniel. Ronna, who just recovered herself, by the way. For anybody that's sitting, look, they're all jumping. Oh, she just recovered. Let's get the hell out of here. No, Ronna's great. Where is Ronna? Right here. Thank you, Ronna. She's great. She did a great job. She ran Michigan for us 4 years ago. She did so well. And many, many decades since a Republican won Michigan, we won Michigan. I said, I want that person, the RNC. I want that person running the RNC. She's great. So, Ronna, thank you very much. She just fully recovered from COVID. A lot of people are recovering. You know, people are recovering. 99%, 99 plus. And now with what you can do, you know, one thing I do say, get there early. Get to the hospital early. Get there early. They can do things, lots of things, but don't get there late. Get there early. And North Carolina GOP chairman, a friend of ours, a great gentleman, Michael Whatley. Thank you, Michael. Great job. How we doing? Doing all right? Looking like a good win, right? And are the numbers that big standing on line getting ready to vote, right? Bigger than you anticipated? He's saying the right things. Thank you, man. Now I hear it was broadcast today. The numbers are crazy. You know what it's called? And this is what we're going to have. We're going to have a red wave. It's what they call it. Right? They don't want to send in the ballots and have the ballots thrown away into a dumpster. Who are you for, Trump? Get rid of that one. Get rid. This is the craziest thing. They want to vote. Our people want to go and they want to vote. It's going to be a big, beautiful red wave. And let them put in their deal. And we're checking every one of them. We're watching very closely where they came from, where they went, how did they get there, right? All this stuff that's going on. Not a day goes by when you don't read about what crooked things are happening. But the red wave will crush it. And those are people that are going to get there on November 3rd and previous to that, you know, the open voting, when you can vote. But they're going to get there, and people are talking about it already. And you're seeing that, aren't you, huh? You're saying that. That's great, Michael. That's great. It's going to be a lot of fun. Because there was a landslide. Well, we're going to see. We're going to see. But we got a good shot. No, we're doing great in Pennsylvania. We're doing great in Michigan, doing great in Arizona. I heard some very good numbers just now in Nevada. We're doing good. I mean, we're doing good all over the place. And I don't want to say it too loud because, you know, they get all this money. They'll spend money like crazy. But, you know, ultimately, money doesn't get you there. Because I spent 25% of what Crooked Hillary spent, right? I spent 25%. And even after I won, they said, he didn't do as good a job at fundraising. I said, I spent less money, and I got criticized that we won. You know, my father taught me a long time ago, if you can win for less money, that's a good thing, not a bad thing. Right? Good thing. Right, Michael? Under my administration, we built the greatest economy in the history of the world, and now we are doing it again. In my first 3 years, family income increased by $6,000, more than 5 times the gains in all 8 years under the last administration. Think of that. So we did more than 8 times. African American income grew 9 times more than it did under Biden and Obama, 9 times. African American unemployment, Hispanic American unemployment, Asian American unemployment, all reached in history record highs, highest in history. And we're getting them all back. They're all coming back. We lifted 6.6 million Americans out of poverty. Since the China virus, we've created a record 11.4 million American jobs. We have never produced jobs at that level and that speed. We've already cut the unemployment rate in half. And think of it, 7.8, 7.9, that sounds terrible, but you know, it sounds pretty good when they're telling you about the 42%, right? Because I figured 42, you know, what are you going to do? We have this crazy situation that happened. And 7.8%, it's pretty incredible when you think about it. And we'll get that way down, and it's going down fast. Under Biden, well, yeah, just watch this. Under Biden, it took 30 months to recover. More than half of the jobs lost in their crisis. It wasn't a crisis, though. It was not great times, but it wasn't a crisis. We did it in 5 months, so they had 30 months, and they had the weakest recovery in the history of our country, dating back, actually, to when they started, 1929. It was the weakest recovery in the history of our country. And then he wants to tell us how to do things. For 47 years, he did nothing. I love these guys. You know, for 47 years, he did nothing. Now, all of a sudden, he wants to do all these things that I did already. I could do better. You shouldn't have let China in. Well, for 2 months, he was saying I was xenophobic because I closed the borders very early, didn't I? Huh? Jobs have been recovering 23 times faster than the Obama-Biden recovery. 23 times. Not 23%, 23 times. And these numbers come from the great Larry Kudlow, who's a good man, by the way. We've spent the last 4 years reversing the damage Joe Biden inflicted over us for 47 years. Think of it. Biden has waged a decades-long assault on your state against your state's tobacco growers. He was a cheerleader for NAFTA, which was a disaster. TPP, which would have been a disaster had I not terminated it, would have destroyed your state. It would have destroyed manufacturing in our country. And he was totally in favor of China's entry into the World Trade Organization. That's when they took off like a rocket. But not so good anymore. For half a century, Biden twisted his blade into the heart of North Carolina workers. He should not be asking for your votes. He should be begging for your forgiveness. That's what he should be doing. What job he did. I mean, you go back 4 or 5 years, you people were hurting. You were hurting. I have plenty of friends in this state. You were hurting. For decades, our politicians spent trillions of dollars rebuilding foreign nations, fighting foreign wars and defending foreign borders, countries you never heard of. But now we're finally protecting our nation, rebuilding our cities, and we are bringing our jobs, our factories, and our troops back home to the USA. It's probably the main reason I ran in the first place. And I made the statement the other day, and sort of made sense to me. If Obama and Biden did a good job, I would have never run. I mean, think. I only ran because they did a horrible job. And there was no unity. You had Ferguson. Look at what happened in St. Louis. Look at what happened in Baltimore. Look at what happened in Oakland. Look at what happened. There was hatred all over the place. Now they say, oh, wasn't that beautiful? What they did was, they did a terrible job. That's why I'm your president, because if they did a good job, I wouldn't have run. I had a very nice life, believe me. I had a very nice... And by the way, how many of these rallies have you... Stand up, please. North Carolina, how many... What number is it? Don't be embarrassed. 60? 60. They have a group of 12 women, and I see them a lot. And I say, North Carolina, they remind me of that no matter where we go. And so 60, that's a lot, but that's only about 20%, so you have a long way to go. I'm sure their husbands are thrilled. Where are you going? I'm going to, well, at least here you're close, right? 1,000%. And you don't mind, right? We like him. We like him. Great women. Thank you very much. That's really nice. No, that's really nice. To save our auto industry, I withdrew from the last administration's Trans-Pacific Partnership. I ended the NAFTA nightmare and signed the brand new USMCA, which is just now kicking in and has turned out to be incredible for our farmers, our manufacturers. Everyone said it couldn't be done. There's no way you could end NAFTA. I ended it. It was one of the worst trade deals ever made. I took the toughest ever action to confront China's rampant theft of American jobs. We've achieved energy independence, and we've done it while protecting our pristine environment. You know, we have the best environmental numbers we've ever had, meaning, I guess, over 50 years, because before that, you didn't have too much action, right? But we have the best environmental numbers, ozone numbers, so many other numbers. In the meantime, China, Russia, India, all these countries, they're spewing stuff into the air. I keep telling our people, I say, you know, I love clean air. But Russia and China, you look at a map, you have all these spots, and India and many others are spewing it in. What do you suggest? Well, we don't think you should sell straws anymore. Oh, great. Okay, that's good. You ever hear that? The straw, right? And I say, okay, the straw's good. That's a little straw. That's okay. What about the plastic plate? What about the carton? What about the glass that's out of plastic? Well, we'll get to that later. These people are crazy. I recently signed an order placing a moratorium on offshore drilling off the coast of Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina, so you don't have to worry about any oil spills in your beautiful land. You don't have to worry. Look how happy she is. She obviously lives on the water. You don't have to worry about those spills. At the same time, I have made it so great for energy. You know, we've never had energy like we do. We're #1 in the world now by far, and totally energy independent. In 2017, I proudly signed a historic executive order making it official, government policy to buy American and hire American. I saw Biden the other day. He's standing here like this. No, he's got to sign hire American. I said, I've been saying that for 15 years. It's amazing. And you know this one, when the Tennessee Valley Authority replaced part of its American workforce with foreign workers.
Well, the president, you know, he seems to be, well, quite vigorous, I think is a good word, Tudor. He seems to be spry, in a good mood, going off prompter a bit, but he seems to be in a very positive mood. Of course, he has that town hall tonight, NBC, starting at 8 o'clock. Of course, at the same time, Joe Biden will be on ABC, dueling town halls. I think they probably could have had a presidential town hall as was originally scheduled, but that's where we are. He is in Greenville, North Carolina, but he's got things on the calendar every day, Tudor.
Absolutely. He talked about the New York Times writer who came out and said that they think that the United States will be over with coronavirus faster than anyone else. He mentioned that he's not at the New York Times anymore. But speaking of coronavirus, I want to bring in Congressman Bill Huizenga. Congressman, We're glad you're back, but we hear that you tested positive for COVID-19 and didn't even know it. Tell us what happened.
Yeah, that was quite a surprise yesterday. It started with me just debating whether I was going to take a Claritin or not. And I was going to go meet Vice President Pence, who was coming into Grand Rapids, Michigan. And I ended up having to do one of the rapid tests, which is the protocol appropriately. And that came back, to my surprise, as a positive. So we've also gone and done the PCR test, that very deep into your nasal cavity checking swab, checking for that DNA. Not the most comfortable thing, but that that unfortunately came back positive as well. So, but I'm here working, doing what I can. Obviously I was supposed to have a debate last night, which we had to cancel because it was supposed to be in person, and our local one of our local newspapers, the Grand Haven Tribune, didn't have the technology available to turn that around, and frankly, we were just dealing with trying to figure out what the world was going to look like here for the next few days. So we're working hard though, and yeah, we're not going to keep our eyes off this election in 19 days.
Sure. What an unusual thing for you, Bill. We've known each other for a number of years now. It doesn't sound like a very pleasant test, from what I've heard, and I wouldn't wish that upon anybody. Glad to see, though, but surprised you have no symptoms. You have no indication whatsoever that you're sick, except maybe you thought maybe you're having a bit of an allergy attack. That's it?
Yeah, that yesterday, and kind of overnight, I've got a little bit of what I would describe as a little more of almost like a slight head cold feeling. Right. You know, I'm just not on my total A game, a little tired, that kind of thing. And look, you know, we all have been affected by this in one way or another. We all have a family member or a friend who has been affected by this. And I've unfortunately known some folks who have passed away because of this. And I also know people who, including my college roommate, who's in Wisconsin, he had called me. Literally, he lost taste and smell for about 2 weeks. Didn't know he was positive either. You know, so there's very mild symptoms sometimes and some very severe symptoms. So I'm hoping these will be mild, but we got to figure out as a society and as a nation how we're going to manage through this and how we're going to work through this. But, you know, obviously we need to have some good medical care, and which we're getting.
Yeah, I was just hearing this morning some scientists are trying to link it to your blood type, that maybe O positive or the O blood type in general has fewer symptoms. A and AB, they have more symptoms, but they said they can't even be sure about that. So I want to move on, though. You are in a race as well. You have 19 days. What does this mean for your race, and how will you continue to reach people over the next 10 days? I'm assuming you're home for 10 days.
Yeah, I'm actually isolating from my family, so I'm all alone, and you know, doing things like this, trying to figure out how we are going to convert some of the debates that we had into more of a, you know, web-based forum, that kind of thing. It's you know, as we all have learned over the last number of months, webinars are not the ideal, right? But we want to get out there in front of voters, and you know, we've got a robust television and radio and digital footprint that's out there, employing the snail mail as well. You know, in Michigan here, we've got a whole wave of absentee ballots that have gone out now after they were properly requested. And had signatures verified and those kinds of things. But that first wave could literally be almost half of the entire voting population. And then we have Election Day. So we're pretty robust in our reaching out to folks.
People have already cast votes in Michigan, from what I read here earlier today. Congressman Bill Huizenga with us here on America's Voice Live. One of the ways you would normally reach out to people would be by social media, Twitter, Facebook, and so forth. And I'd like you to weigh in on this incredible a bit of censorship by Twitter, by Facebook on this story from the New York Post. Not a flattering story on Hunter Biden and the connections to Joe Biden and a laptop computer that apparently holds 40,000 emails, 1,000 text messages, very unflattering pictures and videos of Hunter Biden. But instead of having a conversation about it and having the United States weigh in on it, social media giants, big tech, absolutely flattened it, buried it, closed down the account on Twitter of Kayleigh McEnany, the White House press secretary, stopped the New York Post, the fourth largest paper in America, by the way, shut them down on social media. Censorship, I find to be one of the most offensive things possible, especially in America, Congressman. This cannot stand. This kind of behavior by big tech, they are, in my estimation, directly interfering with this election. Your thoughts?
Yeah, and Steve, you hit the nail on the head there with this. This is a form of censorship that is happening. I read the New York Post article. I'm baffled how the mainstream media doesn't see this as newsworthy. It clearly has at least implications and could lead to some further conversations that should be happening about those connections. And they want nothing to do with it, and it's just bizarre. Then you've got their friends at Twitter and other places. I mean, how do you shut down the Twitter account of the White House press secretary? It's not legitimate. I mean, come on, give me a break. I mean, the New York Post. I know it's the New York Post, but it's the New York Post. This is a real legit newspaper. You know, I'm curious whether they shut down the National Enquirer or not. Probably not. So it's just crazy that we're doing that. And here's the real thing. They're in real danger of uniting the left and the right on this. And I see this on my Financial Services Committee all the time. And we've had Mark Zuckerberg up in front of our committee and others. And they clearly have a personal bias. They're allowed to have that. They're allowed to run their private company the way that they would like. But at some point, these companies become utilities potentially. And when you've got the left who hates them because they're just big and they're run by now wealthy people, and you've got the right saying, hey, I'm inclined to let you go run your business the way you want to, but if you're not willing to play this down the middle, then we may need to, I mean, it'd be like saying, oh, well, we're not going to, in days of old, we're not going to deliver electricity to this certain section of town because we don't like the people who live in it. We're not going to deliver sewer and water, services in a city because we don't like a particular neighborhood. Well, at that point, then those private companies are subjecting themselves to some, I think, much needed scrutiny about whether they should become a utility.
I'm glad you explained it that way. I think a lot of people don't understand that that's what folks are saying when you call this a utility, and that you can't discriminate and take it away from some people but give it to others. I want to change course really quickly and go to mail-in ballots, because we're hearing now that they're expecting results on Friday after Election Day here in Michigan. Are you concerned about your own race and whether or not they will cheat after the election?
Yeah, well, and Tudor, as you well know, there had been a state court that said that ballots received up to 14 days were going to have to be counted. And then there's some pushback and looking at shortening that up. But at the end of the day, we've got to have Election Day be Election Day. And there are times when those outcomes are in doubt, when things are very close. Back in the day, my own primary, I didn't have a couple of my opponents concede till the next day because it was a 664 vote win. And I didn't know I had the 664 vote win till about 4 a.m. And now bring that out to a broader scope. Al Gore did not concede the presidency until December 13 of 2000. December 13.
Yep.
After
we can't do that again,
twice.
Congressman. Yeah,
no,
we can't do that again. America can't go through that, and I'm sorry we're up against the break here, but you're right about that. We have to have Election Day be Election Day. It can't be election month or election year or any of that.
Yeah.
And we have to have the social media companies keep their thumb off the scale. I want you to feel better, Congressman. Hope everything goes well. Wish you well. Tudor, we know him well, and he's a good guy. We hope he feels better. You're watching America's Voice Live. Some final thoughts after this.
Stay tuned to get a free pan from Granite Stone. Stuck on eggs, burnt on batter. You can scrub and scrape, but you can't escape the nightmare of your sticky pans. Introducing the Granite Stone Pan, the all-new durable non-stick pan. No butter or oil needed. Watch, we melted down these sticky candies in Granite Stone, and it just doesn't stick. We cooked a half a dozen eggs, bacon, cheese, and tomato breakfast with no butter or oil, and it just doesn't stick. Look, caramels, chocolate, and cheese. Unreal for any other pan, but not for Granite Stone. It just doesn't stick. Granite Stone will be the last pan you'll ever need because it's pressed from a solid aluminum disc for even heat conduction, then coated 3 times with our durable Granite Stone finish. Granite Stone is metal utensil safe and won't scratch. And talk about non-stick. This salmon cooked skin side down with no added butter or oil just doesn't stick. This steak is perfectly seared just like the pros. And because Granite Stone is oven rated to 500 degrees, we bake this upside down pan pizza to perfection, and it just doesn't stick. Fire Flambe Delicious Cherries Jubilee. Plus it's PFOA free and 100% dishwasher safe. Call or go online to get your Granite Stone pan for the special TV discount price of just $19.99. Granite Stone is so durable it comes with a 10-year warranty. And with every order, you're going to get a Granite Stone single-serve egg pan absolutely free. It's the perfect size for personalized eggs, omelets, or frittatas that slide right out. It makes the best bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich quick. Yours absolutely free. We'll even ship your entire order free. That's right, free shipping. You get it all, an incredible value. Here's how to order.
To order, call 1-800-850-0237. That's 1-800-850-0237, or order online at buygranitestone.com. That's 1-800-850-0237. Call now.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and I'm here to tell you about my new product from MyPillow. Towels that actually work. Watch this absorbency test. Here's another towel that we randomly went out and bought. Here's one of my towels with the nice design. I don't know if you can see this, but you could line a swimming pool with this. I mean, this is crazy. Get rid of it. Towels that actually work. What a concept.
I really love the towels. They're really great. They're super absorbent.
Go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen right now. The new MyPillow towels are exclusively made with 100% USA combed cotton with proprietary technology and with maximum absorbency. They dry you faster and are guaranteed to work. And listen to this. Use the promo code on your screen and Mike will include a second full towel set with bath towel, hand towel, and washcloth absolutely free. That's 2 MyPillow towel sets for the price of 1 in your choice of color.
I personally guarantee they're going to be the best towels you'll ever own.
Order now.
Well, this has been an action-packed political day for everyone. Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, the president, Amy Coney Barrett. There has been so much going on today. I want to bring Amanda Head in to talk about this and get some final thoughts on the day. Really, Amanda, we have not been able to look away from the Hunter Biden story, even though most liberals probably haven't seen it at all, because if you are looking at the mainstream media, you can't find it. In fact, if you're on Twitter, you can't find it. If you're on Facebook, you can't find it. You really can only find it if you are in the know in conservative politics. What's your take on Hunter Biden? I'm sure you've heard it.
Yes, so this was posted by the New York Post. It's the 4th largest online newspaper in the entire country, so it's pretty astounding that Twitter thought it was okay to censor them. I want to read you the message that you get when you try to tweet an article pertaining to this bombshell story that was released yesterday. Your tweet couldn't be sent because this link has been identified by Twitter or our partners as being potentially harmful. Visit our help center to learn more. So Twitter, Jack Dorsey tried to backtrack on this and say that it's because it contained hacked documents. It in fact did not contain any hacked documents. This was a laptop that had allegedly had water damage that was dropped off at a computer repair place in Delaware. The man who repaired it said that the person who dropped it off never came back to pick it up, but in the process of him attempting to fix it, to access files, to make sure all the software was working properly, he uncovered these emails between Hunter Biden and this Burisma board member. And it says, "Dear Hunter, thank you for inviting me to D.C. and giving an opportunity to meet your father and spend some time together. It's really an honor and pleasure." This email is from 2015, which was about a year after Hunter Biden joined the board of Burisma, making $50,000 a month. This, of course, is in addition to the roughly $10 million of dark money that Hunter Biden has been receiving from China, which, by the way, he is still receiving. So this is a story that is severely damaging to Joe Biden. It's, unfortunately for conservatives and Republicans and Trump supporters, this is nothing new as it pertains to censorship, but it is really shocking when you have a news source like the New York Post publishing something like this, and they actually do have evidence of something, unlike the scads, hundreds, thousands of attack pieces against Donald Trump with either no sources whatsoever, unnamed sources, or false sources that they decide is okay to publish on their platform. I just find it interesting because in a time when you've got Amy Coney Barrett going through her confirmation hearing. And there's something else I wanted to bring up too, because Tudor, you and I both know that the entire rhetoric surrounding and prior to Amy Coney Barrett's confirmation hearing, the rhetoric from Democrats was, this is awful that Republicans are pushing this through. We should be focused on coronavirus relief, which, by the way, it's Nancy Pelosi and Democrats in the House of Representatives that are holding that up. But their whole grief with all of this is that it's putting politics ahead of getting another round of stimulus out to the American people. And yet, even though Democrats know that there is nothing they can do to stop Amy Coney Barrett from being confirmed, they are continuing to utilize the minutes that they have been allotted to, parade out in front of the American people these stories from people who are, worried that Obamacare is going to get taken away, that their ability to abort their child is going to be taken away. So if Democrats actually cared about a stimulus check and not politics, wouldn't they concede and say, you know what, I'm going to defer my time to the Senate Minority Leader, and then the Senate Minority Leader, Chuck Schumer, would say, you know what, we know this is going to happen, so let's just go ahead and vote, and then we can get back to the business of the American people and helping them out in the midst of coronavirus. You can't have it both ways, Democrats.
No, but that is politics, isn't it, Amanda? That is how things go. But fortunately, the hearings did end on a good note. We had a nice conversation between Senator Graham and Senator Feinstein. So that was nice to see that they said they thought they could be bipartisan in the future. But thank you very much for watching today. We will be back tomorrow. In the meantime, stay tuned for the National Pulse with Raheem Kassam next.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and as you know, my passion is to help each and every one of you get the best sleep of your life. That's why I created my new Giza Dreams bed sheets. I guarantee you they'll be the most comfortable sheets you'll ever own.
With the Giza Dream Sheets, I'm getting the best sleep of my life.
They are so soft and smooth. I never slept so good.
I fall asleep faster because I'm actually comfortable.
I started by using the world's best cotton called Giza. It's only grown in a region between the Sahara Desert, the Mediterranean Sea, and the Nile River. It's ultra soft and breathable, but extremely durable, which is why I can give you my full 10-year warranty. But I didn't stop there. My Giza sheets also include full 21-inch wide pillowcases that will fit over any pillow and deep pocket sheets that will fit over any mattress. I guarantee you the first night you sleep on my sheets, you'll never want to sleep on anything else.
Go to mypillow.com